Hey, my lovely, lovely, wonderful, beautiful, handsome people. A pleasant evening to everybody. Now, beautiful people, I'm not sure how recent, or how far, how long ago, sorry, I should say, this particular incident may have been. So, it's a popular dancehall artist, and um, the artist was on social media, in particular TikTok, it seems, and it seems, I'm not sure, but so that is why I say social media. So one of the different social media platforms, but it seemed to have been live. And a young mother, called in or chimed in, and asked if this particular artist could give her some assistance because she's a single mother. And you know that we live in a Jamaica where things are tough. Most people are really suffering and struggling financially. And she went off on the girl, not necessarily very loud, but her words were cutting. They were vitriolic. She said, "So is my mother." You know, one at a time she said, "FUBITCH," and go and sell your basically your private parts. I mean, when I heard it, I said, I mean, I'm listening to it because I went on somebody's page and they were playing the recording of it. And I said to myself, it's going to be twofold what I'm saying. Let me start here. Sometimes people, you have to be careful of the pedestal that you're putting some of these artists on. They're regular human beings. But the brain can confuse people so much that when you see people sing and they may be performing and they're having a jolly time and they sound good, you automatically in a subliminal way assume that that transcends into their character, that transcends into their personality. They may have a personality that is just that suck. It sucks. They may have characteristics that leaves much to be desired. They just have a gift and a talent in which they know how to emit to the world. They know how to promulgate to the world. They know how to promote to the world. But as it regards the character, who the core of who they are, it leaves much to be desired. Stop putting these people on a pedestal. Stop doing it because you will be in for a rude awakening. They're regular human beings like you and me. Regular. With flaws and all. I'm very disappointed in the artist to have responded that way because I can understand the feelings of frustration when people probably keep asking you because they know that you earn, so they make an assumption of what your financial status is. And sometimes you could be in a difficult spot because you may not have shows, you may not have concerts or whatever it is where you can earn, and you're probably kind of low on funds. And one of the most disturbing things is that when you're low on funds or you have no funds and somebody coming to you to ask you for help, it feels so frustrating because you can't help and you yourself need help and you can't reach out, or and I use the word can't loosely because people are going to say, but how are you as a big shot artist begging for help? This is impossible. So you have to live with that demon, you have to live with that pressure, you have to live with that challenge, unfortunately. You have to live with that situation, and it can become really draining to the brain, to the mind, to the soul. But one of the things you have to remember is that you're an influencer. And I'm not talking just on social media platform. Once you become a public figure, you now have gone into the category of influencer because there are people who are looking up to you. You may not know that, but it is a reality. That's just how the world runs. And that is why people are classified in two categories: leaders, followers. Leaders, followers. That's just realities. Either you're going to be leading or you're going to be following, one out of the two. So when you become a public figure, you have to be mindful of the things you say, even when you're frustrated. The test of your character is going to come out when you're frustrated, when you're angry, when you're upset. And can we make room for people to be upset and angry? Yes. But you just know, as the saying goes, as the old adage goes, to whom much is given, much is required. So whilst they may have a little bit more leniency for somebody who is unpopular, they may not have that for you, and that will be etched in their minds forever. So what you say can and will be used against you for life. So even if you feel frustrated, there are times when people come to me and I'm in need, and I feel the frustration well up, and I say, relax, Toni-Ann. And I just respond to them in a respectful manner. I just simply do same. The flip side of this is that some of you people, you are a bit overbearing at times, unfortunately. And some of you, when you were in your glory days, you never helped a soul. You never remember people. I know of people like that. When you were in your glory days, when things were going well for you, you never helped one single solitary human being. And now that, the tables have turned, you're now desperately in need of help. And then you get pushback when you go. Because sometimes you may do it frequently because genuinely you may be in need and you don't want to do something that is underhanding. You don't want to do something that will mess with your integrity. You want to always to remain integrous. So you try not to do something. So your next best thing is that, oh my God, I'm just going to have to beg for help. And you know what the Bible says about begging? For I have not seen the righteous forsaken. This is David speaking, nor his seed begging bread. There is just something about the spirit of begging. Back in those days, they used to have a beggar's coat that they will put on you. And they look at you almost like how they look at a homeless person, the scum of the earth, indigent people, outcasts, and so on. So begging, while it may not be unlawful or unethical, it is something that is just not good, because it is an offshoot or an offspring of laziness, because you don't want to work and work hard for what you really want. So you say, you know what, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm just going to sit down and beg. Day in, day out, I cannot fathom it. And it becomes very exhausting. Can you imagine some of these artists, the number of messages coming in for people asking for this amount of money, asking to be spent? They're human too. It's going to be overwhelming. And there are moments when they're on low periods because they may not be getting the shows that they want. So you can't be there just pressuring them constantly and asking them. You have to find a way to manage your situation and manage the expectations of others. You have to just learn to swim in deep waters and not sink. So you have to be very mindful that people have their own trials and tribulations and difficulties. And some of you constantly go back to the same and the same. I know it feels. You probably don't want to be begging every Tom, every Dick, every Harry, every Jill, every Jane to have your name being scandalized. But you have to find ways and means in reducing to preventing from going back to people for help or to ask them and so forth. You may resort to that because maybe based on the nature of the job or the nature of the situation. But in a case like that, if you find that you have to constantly go to the person, ensure you don't ask for any cash or kind. Don't. Because that will send them over the edge. The constant begging, but again, these people, you put them on too many pedestals. They're human beings. They are human beings, regular Jill and Joe, like you, me and you, or you and me. Stop putting them on pedestal, but at the same time, mitigate, reduce significantly the begging. People don't like it and they're going through it. And the ones who you may think not going through it, they're going through it. They're going through it. All right, guys. to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe, give me one of those lines, and you can follow me on Instagram. Take care.